Simon is with me. So too is the legendary boxing writer, but he's more than that. Sporting journalist of 50 years standing. Just covered the eight Olympic Games. Colin Hart is with us in studio this lunchtime. Colin, I asked you for your three somewhat unfairly, but you had a commercial break which gave you some time to think.
Well, didn't take me long.
Oh, go on.
Number one, Muhammad Ali. If the world was to last another 1,000 years, there'll never be another like him. I'm not just talking about in the ring, I'm talking about outside the ring. He was unique, right? That's my number one.
Yep.
My number two, because I think he's the best boxer pound for pound I've seen in the flesh, Sugar Ray Leonard. And the third one, and I'm a great football fan, but there's not a footballer amongst my three, is Sebastian Coe, Lord Coe, who broke 12 world records. He is the only man in history to win back-to-back gold medals at 1,500 metres at the Olympics. And if any youngsters are listening and haven't seen the film of it, try and find it on one of the channels. When he came back after losing the 800 metres in Moscow and won the 1,500, he was a fighter. And I say, if he'd turned to boxing, he was 9 stone soaking wet, he would have been the world lightweight champion.
The story there is incredible, Simon. You'll remember it. He absolutely had to win that second race.
After Steve Ovett.
And he beat Ovett, you know, which was...
Absolutely got redemption, didn't he?
Redemption.
Because ultimately he was the golden boy. And then Ovett comes along from Brighton, a little bit unpopular, a little bit unconventional, not the establishment. No one expected him to lose that, and came back and won the race that everyone expected Ovett to win. So I remember watching it.
It was extraordinary.
It was.
It was extraordinary.
And you know, I was in Moscow, but the boys in the office, don't forget, we had an office off Fleet Street.
Yep.
Dixon's had a big showroom, and the buses stopped, and passengers got off the buses
to watch the race
with their noses pressed up against Dixon's window to watch the 1,500 metres.
Incredible. Colin, I've got to say, there's always one, and Jay in Norwich is that one. My three sporting legends: Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, and Nicholas Bentner. You see, there's always one, isn't there? There's always one.
Nicholas Bentner.
Oh, Colin, take that with a pinch of salt. This is what we get. Colin, the Manchester Arena, Saturday the 19th of February. It's live on talkSPORT. Is it too late for both of them to be doing this? Amir Khan against Kell Brook. What's your thinking?
In last November, I wrote a column in The Sun saying this should not happen. You've got two shot fighters, way past their best. They should have fought each other 6 years ago. They're both 35. Kell Brook has had 2 fractured eye sockets, one either side. First one was given to him by Golovkin, the second one from Errol Spence.
Yes.
Khan hasn't fought for nearly 3 years. So, you know, I know it's for money, and they've got together this grudge match, yet another grudge match. It's a money-making exercise, and quite honestly, I mean, I'm going to watch it because it's my job, but it shouldn't be happening.
If it wasn't your job, you wouldn't be watching it?
No.
I don't, but we all get caught up in it, Trevor. Simon, you and I were saying that.
But do you not
no
think
matter what, we'll watch it.
But do you not think it's a legitimate grudge match from Kell Brook's side, because he feels that he's never been able to be sold the way Kell Brook was, the way Amir Khan was sold? Because Amir Khan went to America, fought Garcia, fought Lamont Peterson, fought Marcus Medina, got all these big name fights. He wins the world title by beating Sean Porter in Atlantic City, doesn't get any of the credibility, and he's watched this star in Amir Khan that he's resented. Don't you think it's a real grudge match from Kell Brook's side?
I'm not saying they love each other, but I can assure you, however it ends, whether it's a stoppage or a decision, they'll be hugging each other at the end.
Especially if there's a rematch clause in there.
Well, whatever, even if there wasn't. These so-called grudge matches, when you think about it, at the end of it, there's mutual respect between them, and all the bad blood
dissipates.
Dissipates.
Yeah. But it was mutual respect after the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury first fight. That soon evaporated for the second fight, and it evaporated even more on the third fight, didn't it?
Well, he refused to shake his hand at the end. But what happened a day or two later? He sent an email apologising for his behaviour, and now They had a love match.
Yes, yeah, of course.
Exchanging emails with each other.
Trevor, will you watch it? Will you listen to it on talkSPORT?
You know what?
You'll take it in.
I'll take it in. I'm with Colin though. Like 6-7 years ago, I would have travelled halfway around the world to watch this fight. I'm a big fan of both of the fighters. There was definite animosity between them from day dot, and I agree with Simon. They really disliked each other. But 2 broken eye sockets in his last 2 fights. The Triple G one, I seen it straight away. You can see the blood go into the eye pupil itself.
Yeah.
And with Amir Khan, both kind of waning fighters, it doesn't really interest me. I've got to be honest.
I
like both fighters.
I remember watching Kell Brook trying to keep away from Golovkin after that. And Golovkin...
He fought well, though.
He knew he'd done the damage to him.
He caught him with an uppercut afterwards, and he had a nice little rally.
Trevor, Golovkin just hunted him down,
time.
didn't he?
Well, Golovkin, again, was a bit special.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
I mean, those fights he had with Canelo Alvarez, classics of their kind.
Yes.
And, of course, very controversial, because a lot of very good judges thought that Golovkin had won the first one.
Yeah. So who wins Can Brook and why?
I think as soon as Brook hits him on the chin, the fight's over.
Really?
Wow.
And you think he's going to do that?
And I think he'll get to him.
What, nail him early?
Well, it could come at any time. I would say about 5 rounds.
That's
rounds.
what Brooks always claimed. That if he catches him, he's not got a chin.
Yeah.
That's what he's always claimed over the years.
Now, let me see. I think I'm right in saying that Khan's lost 5 fights and every one has been a stoppage.
Right. Now, you've taken Can.
Big punches, though, that have knocked him out.
And you had the indignity to tell Kell Brook that you've taken Can.
Yeah, I mean, I told Kell Brook, but the question I have is, the argument is timing against speed. If they've all lost 25 or 30%, right? So he's lost 30% of his speed, and Kell Brook's lost 30% of his timing. Which one wins, Colin? Timing or speed?
Well, I think that timing will win this one.
That's what Kell Brook says. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you say 25%, he may have lost more.
And that's what I'm asking. If they both lost, if they've both diminished by 30%,
well,
they lose
haven't
equally.
seen Khan for nearly 3 years.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Colin, are you happy to stay the other side of the break? A lot of people asking us boxing questions that they want me to ask you.
I'll sit here as long as you like, because I love the sound of my own voice.
You're in good company.
Colin, there are many things we still want to discuss with you, not least, and I'm doing this not just from a Scottish viewpoint, but I think the guy deserves a lot more coverage than he's been getting, and you know who I'm meaning here. Josh Taylor. Is he someone, do you think, who is there already, but is going to go right up there? Is he someone that's going to go to the very top?
Well, he's already the unified champion. He can't go, unless he goes up in weight.
Yeah.
He can't go any further in his own division because he's mopped them all up. I know he's fighting Jack Catterall at the end of the month.
That's a Scotland-England thing as well, isn't it?
Catterall was not in that league.
No,
not in my opinion. I think Josh Taylor will stop him. But where does Josh go from there? He may want to fight a middleweight.
Okay.
I don't know if he's big enough.